Today I am here to speak about one of the biggest mental health illness, which is depression. Depression is one of the major mental health illness that has been taken seriously and has caused major problems over the past couple of years, from suicide to going as far as committing crimes such as murder. But those two are not the only issues. It has caused a lot of psychological and social problems to not only to ourselves, but also to family, friends, and every other relationship. Today, I will be presenting what is depression and speak upon the different topics, and by the end, it will help all of us to raise awareness so that we won't have to suffer ourselves or 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 lose a loved one. So, what is depression? Depression is a mood disorder that has caused a persistent feeling of sadness and a loss of interest. It's also known as major depressive disorder or clinical depression. It will affect how a person would feel, think, or behave. It would mess up a variety of emotional and physical problems. And at the cost, it would have it would have an effect on our daily lives and the people around us. But depression is labeled as being down with the blues and something that easily snapped out of him. So I'm gonna speak upon the different symptoms that comes with depression and to look out for just in case. So number one, feeling of sadness, fearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness. Two, angry outbursts, irritability, and frustration. Three, loss of interest or pleasure in most of all normal activities. Four, sleep disturbance, tired sleep disturbance. Five, tiredness and look and lack of energy. And many thinkers. Six, which is reduced appetite, weight loss, or increased cravings and gaining weight. Seven, anxiety, aggravation, or restlessness. Eight, slow thinking, speaking, body movements. Nine, feeling of worthlessness or guilt, fixating on post failures or self blame. Number 10, trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions, and remembering certain things. 11, frequent or recurring thoughts about death, suicide thoughts, suicide attempts. And the last one, unexplained physical problems. So there are major different kinds of symptoms between children, and adults. So I'm going to start with that. In younger children, they would refuse to go to school, would be suffering in sadness, and they would be awfully clingy to their parents. In teens, they would kind of have the same symptoms, but the difference is they would be end up doing drugs and or alcohol. They would self harm themselves. They would start failing in school to the point where they would either flunk out or be kicked out, and they would be taking everything out on anger, and they would lose interest in everything in their lives. And in adults, they would suffer from memory difficulties or personality changes, aches and or pain, fatigue, loss of appetite, sleep problems, and loss interest of sex, and often stay at home instead of going out of work or do any other activities. And they will also be thinking about suicidal thoughts or feelings. So, how many people have suffered from this? According to the World Health Organization website, more than 20, 264 million people are affected with depression of some kind. And as with suicide, there are more than 800,000 people die from suicide each year. Most of the deaths occur between 15 and 29-year-old people. More than 76 to 85% of people in low to middle income countries receive no treatments of their depression whatsoever. So there are different types of depression. Major depression is the main depression. Is most that occurs most of the time for at least 2 weeks, and typical interferes with one's ability to work, sleep, study, eat. Persistent depression disorder often includes less severe symptoms of depression that last much longer, typically for at least 2 years. Prenatal depression, or postpartum, as y'all like to call it, is Depression occurs when a woman is pregnant or has given birth right after pregnancy. Seasonal affective disorder. It comes and goes with every season. Let's say if it starts in late fall to early winter, it will end in spring and summer. And the last one is depression with symptoms of psychosis. This is a severe, keynote severe form of depression, which is a person experiencing psychosis symptoms like hallucinations or delusions. So this is a dangerous type of depression. So let's talk about depression, suicidal, and suicides during this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. According to a news article from ABC News, since the hit of COVID-19 more than a year ago, of course, the rates of depression score up with a number of 28%, but there has been a decline of suicide association with depression because of the success made by the U.S. government on financial support, public mental health interventions, but experts says it could gain worse as this pandemic goes about. So, one of the major questions asking, can depression lead people to commit crime? Well, we see lots of suicides with depression, but what about that? What about that? Could lead to a road of crime. Well, according to a 2019 survey from the verywellmind.com, researchers have located into cases of people who have been diagnosed with depression and other mental health illness and engaged in gun violence. Based on the survey, the national level, the rates are between 3 to 5% of violent acts are directly attributed to severe mental illness that includes depression. So, how do we get help in this, or how do we help someone with depression? Well, first of all, if you or someone you know are thinking about suicide or has tried to commit suicide, then first thing first is to call 911 or the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. Another way to get help is to contact your local doctor, your mental health professional, or your therapist, or if you need of a spiritual need or connection, then you contact your local minister, spiritual leader, or someone in your faith community. And the biggest one, don't forget to call your family members or friends for help. So in conclusion, depression is a serious mental illness that needs to be taken seriously, and as we joked about, being someone down in the blues, because it's not down in the blues. This is a very serious issue. We need to raise awareness for that. So when you have to lose someone or suffer alone, please take this seriously and reach out for help. And thank you.